Welcome to the No Horsing Around YouTube podcast. T.Y. Hilton, do we bring him back? Do we not? Fights break out at camp and so much more as we talk about that and cover day 6 in training camp as well as T.Y. Hilton, veteran presence, wide receiver guys. Do we or do we not want T.Y. to come back? Let's just jump right in, start with the obvious. It seems like Chris Ballard is very open and receptive to bringing in a veteran at some point. I know the buzz right now is just off the charts. We did a podcast yesterday, if you didn't get to check it out, with OBJ possibly coming back with some reports that had come out. But guys, that being said, we're still very young. It looks like in camp that our wide receiver core, we've got room to grow, man. I mean, we really do. Looks like I would like to go into the season with a veteran presence. So here's my case for T.Y. Hilton. Here's a guy who's a great locker room presence. I don't think he will demand a lot of playing time. I still think he has a little bit of juice. And if you think about it and you kind of read the tea leaves, and I kind of read in between the lines a little bit, Chris Ballard all off season, we know he stayed in constant communication and dialogue. Sounds like that T.Y. Hilton is very aware of the situation and the circumstances. And then when you put all of that together, why is T.Y. not signed with anyone else? Why wouldn't he just go out there and sign with a contender or a team that he could go play with right now? He's at all offseason. He is a free agent. He chose not to do that, which tells me one of two things. Either A, he's going to retire. B, he's just holding out to play for the Indianapolis Colts. Not a lot of other things make sense. Maybe it's one of those situations, if you go back and you listen to Chris Ballard on some interviews, he say, look, veterans don't necessarily need to come in right away. This almost might be a way of just keeping his body fresh and healthy. I predict that the Colts will sign a veteran. And I think, honest to God, I think there's a possibility that they go out there and sign T.Y. Hilton, and it has nothing to do with OBJ. I think that when you look at that and the situation, I think the two situations are completely different. You're looking at OBJ, a guy who can contribute if he comes back healthy, and T.Y. is definitely on the back nine. But having him and Reggie in that room, some true veteran leadership at the wide receiving position, as you've got an Ashton Dulin coming along, as you got Paris Campbell. And look, you cannot count on Paris Campbell, even though that he's been amazing in camp so far. He's really, really looked good. Things have happened. His body's not held up. And until he proves that his body can hold up week in, week out in the NFL, that's a hard thing to do going into the season, just saying, hey, we expect Paris to be our clear shot number 2. As we kind of transition into training camp, day 6 thoughts. I'm going to go kind of around the league. Some people that we really respect. Early on we read that Zach Kiefer reports that Jelani Woods is slower coming along to learn this offense. There's been some moments where he's not looked the part. Obviously, we know the tools are there. There's no doubt about that. And a good report today. It looks like he's had his best day of camp so far. He really flashed a little bit, had a couple moments. Ashton Dulin just keeps on grinding, man. I mean, you look at that catch that he had over Rodgers where he just ripped the ball out of the sky. And this is a guy, I think he's just elevating in the right direction and really, really making a claim, to get some honest playing time. And look, Frank Reich really likes him. I mean, he says he's a playmaker, and it's looking like that in practice so far. Molly Cox, the takeaway I have, seems to be the clear-cut number 1 tight end right now. He's head and shoulders above all of the rest. Very good blocker. He looks like he's really starting to build a nice little connection when it comes down to him and Matt Ryan. And then you got Michael Pittman Jr. I love it, man. I mean, I know the fights, you hate to see your own guys going against each other, him and Rodney McLeod, but that just means they're passionate about winning and competing. And we want a wide receiver who's got a little bit of dog, DAWG in them, and MPJ is definitely that type of wide receiver. He wants to be the number 1. He wants to go out there and prove his stake as an upper echelon, Pro Bowl caliber, wide receiver in the NFL. Year 3 is big for this guy. I think he's going to get paid after this year if he has a big year. When you look at contracts that Deebo Samuels and A.J. Brown, have signed here recently in the offseason, there's money to be made, and he's going to make a lot of it, man, if he can come out there and compete. So I don't have a problem with that. I'd be interested in the comments for you guys to let us know what you think about that. Fights in training camp. For, against, don't really care. Let us know in the comments as well. Guys, it looks like defense has been doing really, really well the last couple days in training camp as well. They just got a good presence about them. They're playing pretty solid. I really, really, really like the trajectory of this fast-paced offense that Matt Ryan's trying to implement. It's a special thing to have that leader and that cadence to go out there and play like you're going to play in games. I think we've been a little too relaxed here in the Frank Reich era with not going out there and not prepping like you're playing for games and just kind of being a little too soft with the veterans, especially. Seems like Matt Ryan's kind of come in and been that leader and said, no, not so fast. We're going to go out there and we're going to play like we play in games, and that's what gets us better ultimately. So much to talk about, so much excitement. Very interested. Are you for or you against T.Y. Hilton coming back? Would there be a possibility if they sign him, is OBJ gone in your mind, or would they sign both? What about neither? We'd love for you guys to interact with us. Our last video did so well. You guys are back on the train. No horsing around family. If you haven't joined the family, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button, man. Use your voice, use your platform. And until next time, guys, thank you so much.